The following program contains language, images, and/or subject matter that may be objectionable to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Direct from Albany, New York, it's time for the New Media Zone. With your hosts, Ed and Dave. Tonight, a look at this week's new film and DVD releases. And a chance to win free movie tickets with the poster pair's name. And now your hosts, Ed and Dave.
Hello and welcome to the New Media Zone. Ed and Dave here. Ed and Dave are with you. We're doing a regular show, what we used to do. We're talking about the few films that are out in theaters or still streaming. We are looking at some interesting DVD releases. There are some out.
Ooh.
And some unfortunate passing. The new DVD releases.
Here you go.
Indiana Jones.
Now they're making a new one, aren't they?
Yes, he injured his back. Practicing.
I wonder. He's 80.
Practicing for a fight scene.
Isn't he like 78 years old?
Yeah.
What is he playing? Is he still doing the action, or is he like the Sean Connery of Indiana Jones, where he's like the elder and he's?
He should be.
Oh dear God.
It's the last. It's the last one, I think.
It's gonna have to be. I mean, 5 years from now, of course, they're gonna reboot it with someone else.
He looked good in the Star Wars, but even that one was now 5 years ago, I think, the Force Awakens. So we'll see how that goes. 4K, though, if you want to enjoy that. And 40 years now. Is it 40? How long back to 81? That's 40?
Yeah.
Okay, 40 years back to Raiders.
Ooh. Lover of the Monster, starring Klaus Kinski, who looks like a monster. You're really not touching up that picture of him. He does look like that.
Yes. This is another one of those European films they dragged out, but why not? Uncut and remastered. I don't know what the heck it's about, but take a look at that if I run across it.
Oh no.
I forgot I was going to look up what year this was, but this looks like a 40s type painting here.
It does.
Apparently it's a young Benny Hill.
Which means it's probably 60s, early 60s, maybe late 50s.
Yeah, that looks like a 50s.
Because when did he did his show, was it 70s?
In the 70s we saw it, and it was very raw or raunchy.
Yes.
Wouldn't you even see a boob once in a while?
Oh yeah, you could see some boobage. Oh no. No, this show has been on for like 15 years.
2005.
Wow.
Oops. Hang on, remember? And yeah, it just ended last year, I think.
And I think one of them is doing a prequel to them as a young, either about the parents or them as kids.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's producing it, I think.
One of them is doing Texas Ranger reboots.
Oh, for
Walker,
Texas Ranger. Yeah.
So there's all the episodes on Blu-ray if you want to go back the 15 years he missed.
Wow.
Now here we have the Jerry Lewis 20 film collection. I couldn't find anywhere that said which films they were.
Oh, well, that's not helpful.
If any one of them, I don't care what the cost of this is, if any one of them was hardly working, I would buy this whole thing because you can't find that anywhere. And that even the poster is offensive. Do you remember
him in the Chinese makeup and the teeth?
Yeah. On the poster you could do that in 1980.
Well, I think I see the Nutty Professor.
Yeah.
I mean, you got it. The bellhop or bellboy is there, upper right, I believe.
16.
Yeah, I don't know, but you'd be hard pressed to find
a good one.
Great Jerry Lewis movies. There are segments within his films that are funny. As a whole, I don't think they, other than the Nutty Professor, they don't really stand up well.
Of course, there was the typewriting bit,
Yes.
whichever film. If try and find which film that was in. Though.
And then there's him with the cigar and he's mouthing to like this
oh yeah,
porn section of the.
Wah, 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 wah. Okay.
I just get done saying how bad the shows are, and I'm laughing at some of it. But like I said, some of the segments are funny, but as a whole, I can't really sit through. I've sat through some of them recently,
Mm-hmm.
and it took a lot. But no. The Go-Go Boys. Oh no, Canon Films.
This is the history of Canon Films, which of course was Joram Globus,
Glarbin Glarbus, Joran Glarbin Gloomin. They did the King Kong. 76, right? No?
They might have done the
Or
King Kong Lives.
King Kong Lives, I think, may have been it, yeah.
And of course, Superman 4, which whenever I go back, I'll give that another try. It was the most horrendous. Everybody was back, the whole cast and everything, but terrible. Bad effects,
Oh, no.
those Canon Films. And of course, Chuck Norris and all, I think, Breakin' and Electric Boogaloo were their creations. A lot of fun back in the 80s with Canon. You know, you were in for a good time when you saw Canon Globin Glorbus or whatever.
8 movie. Is that all of them?
No.
Oh.
Now you'll be disappointed
Well, I usually am.
if you're looking for Jason X.
Oh, no.
And Jason Goes to Hell, I think, which I watched recently, and that one was bad.
The Jason X is the X for number 10?
That's when he goes to space. Remember that?
Because
one?
everyone goes to space.
That's even Jason went to space. See that? So yeah, these are the Paramount ones, which end with Jason Takes Manhattan.
That one wasn't even good. I didn't like that one.
That's enough, though. 8, right? Or 2, maybe
3
2.
tops.
3. Maybe 4, the final chapter when it was supposed to end.
I didn't see either of these films.
I saw the first one, which was good. I wasn't going out to the theater when this was out, which was the first one out.
I do love me some Emily Blunt.
You know, I don't know if this was required viewing in the theater. They said, you got to see this in the theater. It's about, there's no talking.
Right. Well, it's great to make a film where you don't have dialogue.
And there are some monsters in it, but most of it is them walking around trying not to make noise. So I could wait the 2 months or whatever it's been, and I'll see this on Blu-ray.
I didn't know John Krasinski was in this one, unless is it flashbacks? Did Sidney die in the first one?
Yeah, it's a flashback.
Okay. Because he directed them, I believe.
Yeah. Did they do those in New York then?
I don't know. By the way, that Monstrous was partially filmed in Albany, you know.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Alain Delon. Icy Breath.
Now, I saw this in Crossgates.
The movie?
No, the woman without the bra over the ice cream.
Yeah, okay. She had icy breasts.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
I have no idea what this is, but you have to put it on with that title.
Yeah, I have to look for it. I want it.
You see what...
Isn't it? Is that a French term underneath it?
Yeah, it looks French there. You know, those French are okay with nudity.
I guess so.
And icy breath.
I'm not okay with icy breasts.
That's it.
Oh.
We're going to do some deaths, though.
Oh, we're doing that too?
Yeah, why not?
Robert Downey Sr. Yes, he was, I think he had the Parkinson's? I believe.
Yes. I saw one film he was in, sort of a background part. I don't think he was a big actor.
No, I think he was more of an indie filmmaker, cult films. Richard Donner, director.
91.
That's a good life, Ed.
That's a good one. I think it was just old age he died from. Superman, of course. The original. And the Goonies was pretty entertaining. Have you ever seen the Goonies?
I have not.
You're not?
I've watched Superman, I've seen The Omen, and I've seen I believe, first 2 Lethal Weapon films.
Mm-hmm.
Is it supposed to be Ned Beatty?
Ned Beatty.
He was in Deliverance, amongst many films. Was he in Evening Shade, the TV series with
Burt Reynolds? Yeah, I think so. They got together again.
And is that him in Superman?
He was Otis in Superman. I hope that doesn't mean Gene Hackman will be leaving us.
Well, Gene Hackman is in his 90s also.
Yeah, he just retired and went off to the home.
To the home? You mean his home? I think he does. Doesn't he write and paint?
I don't know what he does.
I think he does. Yeah, I don't know if it's painting, but he does writing.
Of course, Deliverance was his first film, and that was quite an entrance.
That was in what, 72?
Yes, and everybody knows Squeal Like a Pig
Yes,
and the pretty mouth, which is being depicted here.
Yeah.
But in a lot of different things.
Clarence Williams III, which would be the gentleman on the right. Peggy Lipton has passed.
She has passed, and nobody knows who this other guy was.
Michael Cole.
Oh, Michael Cole, you knew.
I know Michael Cole.
I didn't know his name or anything else he was in. Was he in anything else?
Supporting TV shows, supporting roles. But yeah, he's had a fairly good career.
Is he still with us?
He is.
He is.
He is.
Okay.
Ding, ding, ding. I remember the opening scene where they're running so fast.
Dragging
they're
her.
literally carrying her. It's like her legs are going in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Which reminds me, $6 Million Man also was on last night.
In The Bionic Woman. There's
I
not a
know
lot to watch. Well, that's good to watch late at night, I guess. And
Get to see some bad 80s acting.
Lost in Space is
Arlene Galanka.
Now, we've talked a lot, it seems like, with the TV shows we've been doing lately, of Mayberry RFD.
Okay.
I think she's the one we forgot was in there. We knew Ken Howard. I don't know if she was Ken Howard's wife in that.
I don't remember. I didn't know Aunt B was still in it.
Aunt B and Goober.
I know she hated... She couldn't stand being Aunt B in the Andy Griffith Show. But apparently no other roles were...
No, Aunt
So
B.
she decided, I might as well stick with her for another couple of years. And there's Larry Storch.
Now I remember when she popped up. I remember her face from something else, and she was in the episode of All in the Family, where Larry Storch comes in with the young blonde, and Archie's primping up there, and it turns out that she's a prostitute.
Oh.
that Larry Storch is picked up to.
Good old Larry. He's still around. He's like 95.
He still shows up at the conventions with the hat on, the F
Troop hat?
Yeah.
That's a great show. With Ken Berry, by the way.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, there we go. The real voice of Milli Vanilli. Oh, the COVID.
After the COVID. Now, I tried to find if he got his shot or when he did, and I couldn't find anything, but the real voice, and I guess he teamed up with the fake voice for a concert tour.
Oh, okay.
I think that's the one that must still be alive, because the other one passed on.
Died, yes.
I don't know if it was Millie or Vanilli.
Wow, it's been that long since we've done this show? I remember Gavin MacLeod.
Well, the odd thing was, the next three passings were mentioned at our last taping.
Okay.
So when we were talking about Gavin MacLeod for some reason, maybe Mary Tyler Moore's show, I put a little disclaimer on the bottom of the show. He has passed on since his taping. It was very odd. He had passed on, and we mentioned him last time we taped. And then on the same taping, for some reason we were singing Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head.
Wait, we didn't know that they had passed when we were doing the show?
They have passed since our last taping.
Oh.
And they were all mentioned in some form.
That's a little...
That's a little airy.
Yeah, it's creepy.
78. We were talking about that maybe on our 70s show.
Maybe we did one of the movies that his theme was wrote music for.
Butch Cassidy. And then for some reason I was saying Mecca Lucka Hi Mecca Hiney Ho, which was John B's catchphrase.
Oh, it's chronic alcohol abuse?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Wouldn't you have chronic abuse if you had to put that outfit on?
But didn't he write a lot of the stuff?
I think.
And the movies too?
I think he was a writer. But he was John B. Everybody loved John B, though, in the box. And you say, Mecca Lecca Hi Mecca Hiney Ho, and he grants your wish.
Okay.
I remember one show he wished for hands. It was a little suggestive. he had to go down and try out. He did get them. He had to go down and he said he was going to try out his new hands. That Pee-wee did have some suggestive shows.
Oh no! You had to put this in.
We have to. He was around New York though. If you're watching anywhere in New York or Florida too.
Florida, Texas, I think. New York, upstate New York. I don't know if he had any more. He might have had some downstate, but a lot of them. Albany, Buffalo, and then along the East Coast and Florida. He's a big car dealer. Mm-hmm. And his catchphrase was everything. It's huge.
And for years, whenever we got things in the mail or flyers or things, it was always this picture.
Yes.
Which he looked nothing like when they were still using this.
Now I'm going to slightly defend Billy Fuccillo.
Okay.
His commercials are irritating.
Yes.
Aggravating. Bombastic.
As we're mentioning this, I'm showing this one where it's kind of sad now, but he's talking to God, which he's doing now.
And they were very loud, but they did what they were supposed to do, which is make you remember what the dealership is or what the product is. So you always knew. You saw this guy, you didn't even have to see a commercial. You knew what it was for. You knew what he was promoting. So in that aspect, his advertisements worked. Were they annoying? Yes. I purposely tried to avoid buying a car from this guy because of the commercials, but I had to because the prices were ridiculously good. There's some kind of shady shenanigans going on there.
No.
But the price was so good. Gave me so much money for a car that was trading in that he didn't even see.
Oh.
But having said that, I also heard that he was, gave money out, was very charitable. I remember seeing one of the news story. One of our local newscasters, Liz Bishop, was introducing him at some charitable event. And when he came up, he gave her a hug, and she literally vanished. He was just this big, just this tall, big guy. Gave a hug, and she was just engulfed.
I thought she ran out of the room.
No.
It was a little creepy.
Oh, no. He gave her a big hug, and all you could see was like a tuft of hair. That was all that was left. But he was just this big, gregarious personality. Perfect for that type of business. But yeah, he would come and go. You'd see him in commercials, and then he'd disappear for a while. You wonder what happened, and now I heard that he had passed.
He had passed.
It was kind of sad, actually.
It was sad.
Commercials are awful, but it did what it was supposed to do.
Yeah, I didn't even get as far as going. I would never buy or even walk into one of these places because of those annoying ads. But there was some rumors of some things going on, and you look them up. We can't mention it for legal reasons here. But there were some rumors of some things going on, and on one of the Facebook posts, and I wanted to go back to see if they were removed, but apparently some employees confirmed these things with various comments in the Facebook post. So go back and look, and one of his other ones, who wasn't Caroline, was also thrown under the bus on those comments. But if the comments were true, and we're not saying either way or that we know anything about it, the death at 64 would kind of confirm what was going on. But, of course, this is all alleged and whatever.
Speculation.
Speculation. You go check it out on your own. But Billy is gone.
I hate to say it, Ed, but I kind of miss those commercials now.
Oh.
He hasn't shown up in a while. You're like, something's not right. Something's off in the universe.
Yeah, people were asking where he was, and then, of course, Caroline came back because she had retired, and she came back after a trip at the ink shop or somewhere.
She's very tatted.
She's covered, and you said you like it.
I kind of like it. She annoyed me for a bit, but now these new commercials they're not that bad. And I noticed the tats all over her arms, everywhere, and I'm like, I kind of like that. I don't know why.
I'm disturbed by it, and I'm glad she showed up in the next one with sleeves on, and maybe people were complaining. I don't know what's worse, the tattoos where they're completely covered and there's a lot of ink,
I like those too.
You like those? Or these ones like she has
Basically
where there's
outlines.
haphazard things just thrown out, like these women are bored or something and they're just going out to the like Miley Cyrus does this too. There's just things, there's a little dot. It's just, do they have 6 done at once? I'm bored, I'll have 6 things put on my arm here and then I'll come back in a while. No planning of any kind. I don't know. I'm not thrilled with
Sure
it.
this isn't 2 shows?
It could be at this point. Is there any other stories you have? As long as
To
we're doing
stretch it out?
this may be another show for all we know.
I don't have anything other than my eye doctor.
Eye doctor
thing.
story.
Although I did make an appointment. I mentioned this to you off camera. I did make an appointment recently for a couple of problems I'm having with the hands.
Right.
And I was subjected to a long, torturous soliloquy about mask wearing, which I think is more of a script that they're reading from. But it's, most places are not, like we had mentioned earlier, not requiring you to wear masks. But physician's office, dentist's office, those types of places are still requiring you to wear a mask. But I was told that when I come for the appointment, which I may cancel, that, and it did sound scripted. She just started reading. Oh, now, when you arrive in the office, it is required that you wear a mask. The mask must cover your nose. It cannot go below the nose. It cannot be a gaiter.
Oh, God, I hate that word. It sounds like goiter.
And it must stay up over your face the entire time that you're here, blah, 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 and whatever. And it was just, I'm like, okay, thank you. You could have just said, please wear a mask, make sure it covers your nose, not a gaiter. That's all I needed. But I get it. They probably got this little script they're going to go through. Just, they, at this point, then who knows? They may have it memorized. But that was it. And it's, it's unfortunate. We're still in this situation. I will go on to say, which I'm sure many of you don't want to hear, about the vaccination process. Get vaccinated. I know you don't like the fact that, the excuses, I don't trust the government. It happened too quickly. But let me explain a little science lesson. There are a lot of people in the scientific community who are working round the clock on various things, vaccines.
I have to just stop you for a moment, and I'm going to let you go because this is very important.
Yes.
But the last time we did this, we did lose a subscriber.
That's kind of why I prefaced it. Well, you may not like this.
Yeah, but it's got to be mentioned because people are dumb out there. I guess. I don't know what it is.
Look, I understand certain degrees of trepidation that people have. But science is based on fact. It's factual. It's not a big, huge conspiracy of our government saying, hey, let's pretend we have a vaccine so people can die off. We just want to kill people. What happens here is, over the years, we have a polio vaccine. We have smallpox vaccine. We've eradicated most of these diseases due to vaccines. Did it take a long time to develop them? Yes. Why? Because science was in its infancy. But we've grown since then. Things happen faster and quicker because we have such advances in technology. We have so many smart people, so many brilliant people working on things non-stop. This is why things can can happen quickly and can be brought to the public quickly. And this is an emergency situation where people were just dying from it. But what happens is when you don't get a vaccine, you allow these diseases to hover and hang around. And then they develop variants, which is what we're seeing pop up all over the place. Where are they popping up? Well, in places that have very few vaccinated folks. A
lot of them down south.
Well, not even in this country. These variants come from other countries where people just don't have access to the vaccine, and these variants then start to pop up. They find their way because they're smart. It's like Jeff Goldblum.
Right.
Life finds a way.
I was going to say that. Listen to Jeff Goldblum, folks.
These variants find their way to work around vaccines, and eventually this is what could happen if we don't get enough people vaccinated to stop the initial COVID. That's all I'm saying. Because you don't want to get it because, you think it's the right thing. I don't trust anybody. I'm not going to do it. And then, God forbid, you have some young kids at home who still can't get the vaccine because it hasn't been approved for young kids. You don't want to get it yourself. Bring it home to your children. And then, God forbid, something tragic happens to your children. All because you're afraid of the government. or some wacky Fox News BS crap. Don't get me started on Fox News, people.
Don't watch Fox News.
Oh, I watch it for the humor. It's funny. It's funny, especially to see the face of Tucker Carlson when he's listening to someone. But that's all. I'm not trying to politicize this. This is just my personal belief. You have your own personal belief. Yes. You go ahead. But
I remember Trump,
don't endanger me.
Trump put this vaccine into motion. So
yes,
he didn't really support it, and he got his shot. Didn't mention it, but but he's the man.
This is the guy that people are backing, that believe in. He's still the president. Mm-hmm. They won't get it because, for some reason that's to do with him. But the man got the vaccine.
Yeah, he did it. So
he also got the COVID.
Right.
As did most people in his circle. Do you want to tell the Florida story?
Yeah, the Florida story. Now, whether you believe in science or not, this is something that happens. Now, you can think it's science, you can think it's something else. But in an office in Florida, I think there may have been 10 people or so in this one office. It was whatever was going on in the office, COVID got in. I don't think there were masks required at the time. It was after the opening right away. Now, in this group, the one person out of the 10 who was vaccinated did not get anything. He didn't get sick. He didn't die. The other folks died. One was in the hospital. But the other ones who were not vaccinated got very sick and died. So what does this tell you, Dave?
Don't go to Florida.
The one guy that was vaccinated was fine. The rest died or just got very sick, which is even worse.
Yes.
Because we had the Milli Vanilli singer died from the COVID. There was also a writer from
I was just going to mention
Dawson's Creek.
She lingered for a year with effects of COVID and died from suicide.
Right.
Because she couldn't take
that was the correct way to say it, too, as we learned.
Couldn't take the constant problems that she was having. So, I don't know. It's just, to me, we got to get this behind us. Otherwise, we're going to be wearing masks all the time. We're going to go back to wearing masks. And as I mentioned to you before the show, I'm watching some commercials, car dealerships or whatever, and people are wearing masks. I get it. You need to wear the mask, but boy, do people look stupid walking around wearing masks. But if you have to do it, you have to do it. It's not right to be walking around with your face half covered all the time. Years ago, you go to the bank with a mask and you get arrested. Now you go without it.
I tell you, the mask isn't a bad idea for the winter months going out in public. Well, because nobody got sick.
Right. No flu. Anything. The flu wasn't even mentioned. You get your flu shots, don't you? You're going to be getting a COVID shot every year, folks. It's going to happen.
Now, somebody that I used to work with is in another, I don't know if she's working because she's bored or whatever, but she's got a side job working at a motel.
Oh.
I don't know what she does in there, but they have to show proof of vaccination to work in there, or you have to wear the mask. And she was one who was, I guess, scared to get the vaccine, but because she didn't want to be the only one wearing a mask or had enough, actually went out and got the vaccine. So maybe we do have to do this type of thing, where if you want to work here, you got to get your vaccine.
Yeah, you got to wear a mask. People are going to, that's a civil liberties issue that people are going to be upset about, which, that's a whole other issue.
All right, we will see you next time, maybe one of our special theme shows next time where we go back in time.
The New Media Zone has been a Cable 2000 production.